Chronic inflammation is one of the most destructive and least visible threats to long-term health, and ultra-processed foods are a primary driver of this slow-burning internal fire. While inflammation is a natural and necessary part of the immune system's response to injury or infection, it becomes dangerous when it is persistent, low-grade, and systemic. This kind of chronic inflammation is increasingly recognized as a root cause of a wide range of modern illnesses, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, and neurodegenerative disorders. And the modern diet, dominated by refined sugars, industrial seed oils, artificial additives, and nutrient-depleted processed products, is accelerating this inflammatory state with every meal. Ultra-processed foods are essentially designed to trigger inflammation. Their ingredients are not merely poor substitutes for whole foods, they are often pro-inflammatory by nature. Refined sugars, for example, are among the most potent dietary triggers of inflammation. When consumed in high quantities, such as those found in sodas, candy bars, flavored yogurts, energy drinks, and processed breakfast cereals, these sugars cause repeated spikes in blood glucose. This, in turn, increases oxidative stress and leads to the release of inflammatory cytokines. Over time, this constant bombardment weakens tissues, damages blood vessels, and primes the immune system to remain in a state of alarm. The damage doesn't end with sugar. Industrial fats, particularly those found in hydrogenated oils and certain seed oils, such as soybean, corn, and canola oils, are heavily processed and often rich in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 are essential in moderation, the typical Western diet contains them in gross excess relative to anti-inflammatory omega-3s. This imbalance creates the perfect environment for chronic inflammation to flourish. These fats are cheap and ubiquitous, found in nearly every type of packaged snack, frozen entree, fast food item, and processed baked good. When consumed in large quantities, they contribute to the buildup of inflammatory compounds throughout the body. Moreover, many ultra-processed foods contain artificial additives, colorings, preservatives, emulsifiers, and flavor enhancers that may disrupt the gut microbiome and weaken immune regulation. Research has shown that certain emulsifiers, for example, can damage the intestinal lining and promote leaky gut syndrome, where unwanted substances pass into the bloodstream, triggering systemic immune responses. This breach of the gut barrier is a direct pathway to chronic inflammation, and it's increasingly implicated in autoimmune conditions, allergies, and mental health disorders. The consequences of living in a state of chronic inflammation are often insidious at first. Fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, and skin issues may seem minor or unrelated. But beneath these symptoms lies a biological terrain that is being constantly eroded. Inflammation slowly corrodes blood vessels, increasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. It interferes with insulin signaling, laying the groundwork for type 2 diabetes. It impairs cellular repair mechanisms, making it easier for cancers to take root and spread. It accelerates aging, weakens bones, and shortens lifespan, not through sudden collapse, but through decades of invisible attrition. Even the brain is not spared. Chronic inflammation has been strongly linked to depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. Inflammatory molecules can cross the blood-brain barrier, disrupting neural pathways, damaging synapses, and altering mood regulation. This means that a diet high in ultra-processed foods doesn't just harm the body, it corrodes the mind, reducing mental clarity, emotional stability, and long-term cognitive function. Despite all of this, ultra-processed foods continue to be marketed as harmless conveniences or even healthy options. Labels like low-fat, gluten-free, or fortified with vitamins distract consumers from the underlying toxic composition. The food industry profits from a public kept in the dark about the consequences of their daily choices, while healthcare systems bear the burden of treating the fallout. Rising rates of inflammatory diseases, pharmaceutical dependence, and preventable early deaths. It's important to understand that inflammation is not a temporary issue resolved by switching a few meals or taking supplements. Once the body is in a chronically inflamed state, reversing the damage requires time, consistency, and often a complete dietary overhaul. The longer ultra-processed foods remain a staple in one's diet, the deeper the damage and the more difficult it becomes to restore balance. In the end, inflammation is the hidden cost of convenience, a biological tax paid slowly, invisibly, and often without warning. Ultra-processed foods may be fast, cheap, and tasty, but they extract a toll measured in years of life lost, in diseases suffered, and in vitality drained. And as long as they dominate the global food supply, they will continue to ignite and sustain the chronic inflammation epidemic, one bite, one ingredient, one ignored warning at a time.